Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Chicago sports fans. This is Barstool Carl
and Dave.
Chief
Eddie.
This is Redline Radio and All Gas, No Break Chicago Sports Podcast brought to you by Barstool Sports Chicago and our good friends at Miller Lite. Off the top, happy Thanksgiving. Looks like we had some great weekend fun. A lot of stuff to talk about. Chief was in a winter wonderland. You get a good wintry mix.
Yeah, it was crazy, and it was like that lake effect snow is like a real thing because that storm came out of nowhere, was not in the forecast. Sitting there, beautiful day with my dad watching Notre Dame, and we went for the first time when I was 12 in like 1998. It was like 102 degrees. It was August, so now it's like we've kind of covered the spectrum because that was never been to a snow game. It was cool for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then it got like, holy shit, it's actually super fucking cold, and they're up by 40. So I think I have a new rule where if like the point differential exceeds the temperature, then you can leave.
Like the spread?
I like that.
No, like
People forget
like
snow is
Notre,
yeah.
like it's 18 degrees, but Notre Dame's up 34. You're allowed to leave.
I think that's fair.
I think that's a good rule.
People forget
Sorry,
that
what'd you say you left?
snow is made of water. Like, it gets wet.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice to look at, and then you're out in it.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get wet when it snows.
Yeah, and we had a shuttle.
Thank you for that.
From the parking lot to well, this guy.
Thank you, Ed.
Remember, Dave? He doesn't know what temperature water freezes at.
32.
Okay.
I actually asked that question yesterday to a person because it came up in Congo.
32. And yeah, so but having to walk back in the blizzard because it did turn into a blizzard. If there was somebody who like took a screenshot of the game that was at like I don't know what time it was, and then 15 minutes later the entire field was covered in snow. So it went from being like a nice crisp winter day to like we're inside a snow globe.
I just picture that scene from Rudy when the dad's walking up and he's like, "This is the most beautiful sight." Like Chief bringing his dad for like, "Hey, Dad, I got some work tickets, 50-yard line. Like Tommy's calling plays today."
I tried to get him to do that scene for the game time ad, and he just like I could tell like he was like a little bit nervous. I'm like, don't worry about it.
So you scripted it out. You were telling your dad.
I was like, yeah, you're gonna do it. Then I'm gonna pan the camera to me, and I'm gonna deliver like and game time, whatever. And he was like, I'm like, all right, don't worry about it.
Let's give Game Time a shout out now, though.
They're the best. I love Game Time, so shout out to them for those seats. It was the best seats I've ever had. They're the number one place to get your last minute ticket items. Tickets always make a great present. So I got those seats through Game Time for my dad for his birthday, and it's the holiday season. So make sure you're downloading that Game Time app, and then you just go to the account tab, create a login, and if you use that promo code RLR, you get $20 off your first purchase. And the winter time is great. There's all kinds of concerts coming to town. The Blackhawks are playing. The Bulls are playing. It is the premier start of the season, I feel like, for college basketball. There's just a lot going on, and Game Time is your super easy to use way to get amazing deals. It's the fastest growing ticket app, so no matter what type of event you're looking to get, if it's a gift, if it's for yourself, make sure you're giving Game Time a shot because we've all used it. We all think it's the best, so you guys should too.
Yeah, go check it out, guys. Definitely Game Time.
It's great.
Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Okay, download Game Time. Yeah. So.
Yep.
I had the complete opposite experience, man. I went to that Mount Carmel Rita game, and it was a fucking nail biter.
Yeah.
Till just about the end. And, like, I don't have a dog in the fight, but, like, you can't leave a fucking nail biter.
No, you can't.
You know, I would have got the Hollywood Howie treatment.
Yep.
You know that story?
Nope.
With, like, Howard Stern, they invited him to, they do that, like, Hollywood Row with the Knicks do. And I'm not saying I'm that, but like, they invited me out to the game.
Maybe for high school football.
Yeah, well, they invited me out to the game, and like the Knicks, like they always have like the people there, and the Rangers, they do that thing, and like they always like, and like one time he left the game, and like it was like a big ordeal because he left early.
Yeah, they put him up the jumbotron to an empty seat.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's what Chief does.
He loves leaving games early.
It's Dave. I mean, Dave just he always complains about people moving the goalpost. This is a goalpost situation. You leave here early all the time. I got to go take care of the dog. That's what I was doing. He was a puppy. I didn't want to stay for the entire White Sox game for the 1,000th time.
That's not what I was talking about.
It's exactly what you're talking about.
I'm talking about Notre Dame Northwestern.
Yeah, well, we've already covered that relationship, so.
Well, it was funny because I was talking to Dave and Dan too, because after the Meatball Molly fight too at UFC, they were like, fuck, they were thinking about taking off. And I guess I saw Dana, and Dana's like, oh, you guys aren't leaving, are you? And they're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, not at all. And then they're like, because like they had just gotten back from college football show, and those guys travel a ton, and they're always fucking moving and going. UFC's a long day.
Oh, that's 6-7 hours. Yeah, it's a marathon.
Long day. Speaking of which, MMA, we have Bellator fighter Danny Sabatello coming on later in the show. Really fun interview. St. Viator, Stevenson guy, Arlington Heights guy, and it was a really funny interview. And even if you guys aren't into combat sports, I think you'll enjoy just a local guy and how like the fighting scene and wrestling scene, like how you rise up. So stand by for that. Well, that'll be coming like a half hour.
He's definitely a character. I interacted with him for like 5 minutes. I was on my way out when he came in with like the glasses, the hair. Like he's an electric dude. So I'm sure that interview is great.
Yes, you'll honestly like just stick around for it. I think you'll like it. But regardless, you know where I'm going with this? Like where like you just get shit if you leave. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck, it's a nail, but like, I'm just going to get shit if I leave. So I definitely was like, all right, I'm sticking around for this. But it was fucking cold.
Yeah.
Like
Chico's worth it. You go fucking cold.
I was so cold.
Yeah.
You got to
But was it
prepare
worth
for
it?
those.
Answer his fucking question.
Yeah. What did you wear? Do you have like you layer up with pants?
No, I'm so bad at that. I'm so bad at that.
You can always take clothes off. You can't really always put them on. I've been to 2 of the coldest Bears games in history. 2019 versus the Packers. It's blizzarded. Is that a verb?
Did you go
Gotcha.
to the Ditka game?
No.
No, was
George
that the
McCaskey.
No.
Go Bears!
Go Bears!
Then
that was like
in
the coldest game,
2007
right?
against the Falcons when Urlacher chased Vic down from behind. I think that was on Christmas Eve, I want to say. I went with Mike Kelly. And so my buddy Mike, his dad's a high school ref on the side. He just does it because he loves high school football. And he's done it for so long that he gets state championship games. He's probably doing them this weekend if he's still doing it. I don't know if he still is. But he gave us all the tricks of the trade. So start jotting these notes down.
Honestly, I will.
Yeah, do it. Vaseline your face. It helps with windburn.
I won't do that.
I will never do that.
T-shirt.
I will never do that.
Garbage bag. Like you cut holes in it. Garbage bag over your body. And then you can stuff that with like other shit if you want. He does that, I guess, but I've never done that. I've just put the garbage bag. And if you're sitting in bleachers, if you have like an empty beer case or something,
You sit on that.
No, you put it on under your feet, under your shoes. I don't know what it does, but apparently it like absorbs cold or something. And I always borrowed my old roommate's ski goggles for Bears games that are that cold.
Oh, really?
Definitely fucking helps.
Yeah.
That's good. But yeah, it's it was good though. It was 6-0 at half, and then Mount Carmel ended up winning.
So who are they playing now in the state championship?
Lincoln Way East.
Lincoln Way East plays Loyola.
The Loyola. That's the 8A game. 7A game is Carmel and Batavia. I looked it up this morning, actually.
Batavia.
Batavia's always been good.
I know, but like North beat them this year.
Yeah, Batavia's like 10-3.
Batavia, I actually had this wrong. Batavia is the team. They have a kid going to Wisconsin. He's a running back linebacker. He's playing linebacker at Wisconsin. And then they have another kid going to Iowa State. So I thought North had the kid going to Iowa State. He's not. But Batavia. When I was growing up, them and Geneva were both terrible. Now Batavia's like fucking powerhouse.
Geneva went to the state championship game when
ago.
I was a senior in high school, and they played the game before us, and the entire city of Batavia was at Champaign Memorial Stadium.
Yeah.
It was like 25,000 Batavia fans.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
They're
they
awesome
traveled.
now.
But good weekend of high school football coming up.
Yeah, always is.
I wish my fucking school was still a powerhouse. They're a bunch of losers too. Everything that I kind of
Everything that you touch dies.
They were always good though, through the 90s and then through like 2016.
Yeah.
Last 5 years, not good. Embarrassments.
Yeah, and then
John Belushi's rolling over in his grade.
6A's East St. Louis and Prairie Ridge. Prairie Ridge just always fucking gets it done.
Prairie Ridge
Last second field goal over Ignatius.
has a kid that had 4,000 rush yards this year.
Well, yeah, they run the triple option.
Okay, so all right, I saw
Still
that.
big
It was a
numbers.
It's
state
great. No,
record.
not taking anything away from the kid, but for sure.
Where is State this year?
Champaign.
Because don't they switch between Northern and
Now they do, yeah.
Correct. Then Naz takes on Peoria. That is 5A, I'm seeing here. 4A, I believe, Providence versus Sacred Heart Griffin. Sacred Heart Griffin's in it every fucking year.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good program.
Oh, yeah. Very strong. 3A, gotta show respect. IC versus Williamsville.
Immaculate Conception, Elmhurst Immaculate
Yeah.
Conception?
Yes, sir.
Good for those boys.
Then
Some
we go to
Driscoll runoff. We talked about that.
2A, Decatur St. Teresa versus Downs Tri-Valley. Shout out to them. Unbelievable punt.
Oh,
And
Did
the
you
win.
see that?
Yeah.
That's St.
Where they were
Teresa.
giving it the like body English and
Yeah.
everything? That was unbelievable.
What were you saying?
I was just saying I like the way they it's Decatur, but St. Teresa. Like
Yes.
it's St. Teresa School,
Yeah.
but it says Decatur dash, like the way the IHSA categorizes smaller schools.
Yeah, and then 1A
Private
is
schools.
Lena Winslow versus Camp Point Central, 13-0.
Lena
versus
Winslow is
13-0.
always there. I feel
Sounds
like
like we got a nice Thanksgiving Day weekend of
Yes,
of
we
games
do.
there.
So
Yep.
good luck to all the teams that are playing.
Yep.
Good luck, and thanks to San Rita for having me out. Good luck to Mount Carmel. That's a fucking tough team.
Why did Rita have you on?
My buddy Nick Lamaglio, he does a lot for the school, and
That's
know.
a Rita name.
yeah,
If I've ever heard one.
Good linebacker. He was.
yeah, it was good though.
I got a conundrum we're in.
What kind of?
What do we got, David? You took the draft, and you're getting you took the fucking cavity, and Cons is shitting on you.
Cons is a fucking doofus. I pay him no mind.
Why do you pay Cons so mind? That's your foil.
He's a doofus. He has no ability on planet Earth to think for himself. He lets the entire world formulate a hive mind opinion on whatever topic is the topic at hand of that day, and he just goes where the hive mind goes. He's a lemming. And on that note, I'm not going to address Cons anymore. I would like to address how I told my dad I was going to pick up a 5-pound rib roast to smoke for Thanksgiving. I looked it up. I'm going to swing by Paulina Meat Market today. Don't look at my computer because I don't want you guys
You want me to guess how much it's going to cost?
guess how much this is going to cost me.
Over 100 for sure.
I guessed
pounds is it?
5 pounds. I told him.
I would
I told him
guess-
that's what I'm doing. He didn't ask me to. I just said I'm going to do it. And he's like, "All right, yeah, bring it over. Give 5
Before or
pounds."
after tax?
Before.
I would guess it's $206.
5 pounds. Say 170.
What did you guess, Carl?
Nope.
Wait. I don't want to guess the same one. I didn't hear
206
you.
I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll go.
You gonna do the Price is Right model?
I go $1, Bob.
Our Carl wins $239.25 for a 5-pound rib roast.
I thought it was $39.99.
A pound?
That'd be about, what is that? That'd be about, I don't know, about $50 a pound. It's almost $250. So
Yeah.
a lot of money. And I don't know that I want to spend that much money.
Well, you have to now.
I kind of have to, don't
You
I?
definitely do. If you promise, if you volunteer to be like, I'm bringing the main dish for Thanksgiving, and you don't do it, that might be the scummiest thing you've ever done.
I would call and ask if I have to.
Just get a prime rib, bro.
No, he's got to
That's
do
what
it.
a
He's got to deliver what he said he was.
That's what it is, Ed.
Oh, really? What did you say? I
A
thought
rib roast,
I
a
misheard
prime
you.
rib. Yeah, it's
I
the same thing.
I thought it must have been something different
Yeah.
too because
No,
of what
prime
you called
rib.
it.
A rib roast.
Oh.
Same thing.
All right, sorry. Well, usually people call it a fucking prime rib. Shoot me.
What are some things you really get what you pay for? I feel like meat is. Like you really get what you pay for with meat. If you're willing to pay extra, you'll get that value.
Oh, definitely,
What are some
100%.
other
But it just
things
doesn't
where
last.
you
I'm gonna eat this in
absolutely-
10 minutes.
Get what you pay for.
Like
Like a jewel steak versus what Dave's talking about, going to Paulina Market and going up to the Paul.
It's actually
A good center cut. That
Bill
is
the
worth
Butcher.
every fucking.
That's his name at Paulina.
What do you get what you pay for?
See, I used to think that about meat. I don't think that anymore.
Starting pitching. That's true.
You're not sticking to just food, I'm assuming.
You get what you. No, I'm saying in life. In
You
general.
get what you
starting
pay
pitching
for.
is something where you absolutely get what you pay for. You spend a lot of money on starting pitching. More often than not, you're gonna get it. Not more often than not. Almost always you get it.
I don't really.
Do you have another example besides starting pitching?
Yeah, dude. I fucking come up with examples all day. How about airfare? You absolutely get what you pay for. The best flights, they're always priced a little bit more. The best
Yeah.
seats. How about activewear? Rowback activewear. The best activewear out there. For those of you who don't know Rowback, the only way to describe Rowback is best fit, best feel. They have the performance polos, hoodies, and quarter zips. Now that it's holiday season, there's no better gift than Rowback. Load up the sleigh. stuff those stockings. Their brand new performance joggers just dropped recently, and they are taking over. We aren't kidding when we say these may be the best joggers we have ever worn. Functional, versatile, and comfortable. They check every box there is, and we can't take them off. They'll make the perfect gift. Also, Roback's performance polos are the best polos out there. You can't find a better looking, better fitting performance polo. Even if you're not a polo guy, you will love Roback polos. Their prints are incredible and even have some specific for the holidays. Anybody Roback?
I love Roback. I've been in the New York office a ton over the last month or so, and in content, say you see 30 content people, I bet 20 of them are wearing the Roback hoodies, and just because they're that good of hoodies.
Very integrative partnership. Eddie, right now, if you're watching on YouTube, we encourage you to subscribe. We hit our 53,000 mark. Stay tuned for 57,000. But more importantly, Eddie's holding up.
It's beautiful.
Oh, boy.
It's a great look.
So nice pattern. Those are for sale.
Yeah, that's the Barstool Chicago Roback polo. That also makes a great Christmas gift. I love a dog logo. The logo's great, so you wear that hat. The hats are great. Everything. We love Roback.
Check it out. Use code RED, that's one word, RED, on roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's spelled RHOBACK.com, roback.com. 20% off all polos, quarter zips, hoodies, and joggers with code RED, roback.com, promo code RED, 20% off. Activewear.
The joggers are the fucking handcrafted by God himself.
What do you guys wear for Thanksgiving? Do you have to wear a collar? I feel like that was a transition point for me at a young age where, like, we would go to Aunt Nancy's or you're out at Aunt Lori's or something. Specifically on my mom's side, where you'd have to dress nice. You'd have to wear a sweater. You'd have to wear a collared shirt. You're probably going to church even though there's really no direct. Well, you're fucking thankful, and if you're going to be thankful, we better go see Jesus. But then as you just get older, it's like, right? I think it was like in high school. It's like, just show up.
Yeah. We're in jeans
It was
and hoodies.
probably later for my family, but we definitely made that trend. Like I used to, you get the nice wool sweater out. Maybe you have a button down underneath. Like you get that like kind of, I don't know, doofus look with the sweater over the button down. But now it's just like, I'll wear the performance joggers and I'm going to be comfortable. You want to have a little elastic waistband going. You're not wearing a belt. You're feeling good. You want to be comfortable.
Parents are like, we're happy Ryan's home from college.
Yeah.
And they look at other families and they're like, well, like parents, they're just not going to rag you because you like just show up and fucking be present.
I think I actually know the moment that we switched is that we used to always like take our Christmas card picture around Thanksgiving. So you would get a little bit dressed up. We're going to fucking stage this thing in front of the fireplace. Everybody wear red. And it was the worst. And then I think all the kids, we got to a point where like, we're not doing this anymore. Like find a different,
do you guys still do family Christmas cards?
No.
Christmas cards.
No, I don't. I think we did like it's one of those things now where my mom still like loves to do it. So if we have a family wedding where we're all dressed up, my mom will like scurry everybody away for 5 minutes and take a group shot and send that out. But I don't know if she's sending out Christmas cards. I'm not getting one, so I'm not sure if when the last time she sent one out was. But
I feel like Eddie and his buddies do.
No, I actually never did one as a family. My wife either.
I gotta say, like, I don't like being
cell phones probably changed
in those, but I like when I get them.
Yeah, you do.
I do. Yeah, like it's like
straight
that's
to
nice.
the trash.
Have
That's
any
nice.
men
straight
before
to the
you
trash.
in your family ever been photographed? I feel like Eddie's from a family where the men are like, we don't do photographs in this house.
I mean,
Like
no.
Squeaks is from an era where you didn't like having cameras around.
Yeah, but really, just you take photos, but it's not really. There was never really a card like nothing like that. No,
Not mailing them to the cousins. When I was a kid, we get all the Christmas cards. I'd be a little kid. I'd go through the Christmas cards and be like, "Who's this hot girl?" I'm like, "Oh, that's Sandy's daughter, Sheila. She's a sophomore at Wheat." And you'd be like, "Oh, cool. There's hot girls at other high schools."
I do have a you get what you pay for, by the way.
What is it?
Everyone's been in a pinch like this before, and it's the worst pinch you could be in when you're in the run and you need something to put your beer in and you don't have a cooler, so you buy one of those shitty styrofoam coolers and it falls apart within 2 seconds. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
So cooling technology, generally speaking.
Yes, the styrofoam coolers are the worst.
Versus
Like
I won't say it, but there's high end.
But even just like a regular cooler's fine. You get like a standard Coleman
the standard
or whatever.
igloo or what? Yeah.
Yes,
Coleman,
yes, like Coleman Igloo. We're not. We don't have a sponsor. We'll fucking
Yeah.
Whoever.
I mean, that's like the Microsoft.
I'm open for business though if you sell coolers.
For sure. But you know what I'm saying? Like those styrofoam, you get what you pay for. Those things fall apart in a second and they're like $2. And
Yeah, you get them at a gas station.
Dick. They suck.
$11.99 in some parts of the country. You go down to the Ozarks, last bait shop before you get out to the lake. That's markup, pal.
Oh yeah. You're gonna defend styrofoam coolers right now?
I think you can get a day's use out of them, but that's typically all you're
No,
looking
bro.
for.
You try to grab those and like throw
They
it
do
in.
fall
like,
apart.
Oh no, yeah, you got to be delicate with them. But like once they're sitting on the ground, they hold the water.
And then like
beer
some
and ice.
asshole will
Sits
try to
on
sit
it.
on it. Yeah.
and
it
then
just
goes right through.
instantly
Yeah.
fucking disintegrates. Sorry, I don't know why. I hold a alarming amount of disdain for styrofoam coolers.
And people who reuse them specifically.
Yeah.
If you're out reusing a styrofoam, pal.
Yeah.
Like, I know
dude.
times are tough for everybody, but
What are we doing here?
no, they're just saying they're environmentalists. They just can't throw styrofoam out.
Yeah, exactly. Is styrofoam worse than plastic?
Styrofoam wasn't on our annoying sounds draft. We heard about it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we had a
That's a
Thanksgiving
squeak.
draft.
I think I just hit a trigger. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What did you think of that study?
Which one?
The plastic study.
You're gonna have to tell me about it.
Yeah, come on, Ed.
I didn't.
Scientists, research shows. Eddie scientist.
Chief is pro pollution for those at home that are unaware.
true.
He says just dump all the plastics in the ocean.
That's not what I said. I would never say that.
Plastic recycling doesn't work. It was something
Yeah,
like
that.
that.
Well, I can tell you about that for sure. Like I don't need.
His ears just perked right up.
I don't need a study for that. That's absolutely true. So if you see the containers where they're like, oh, compost, waste, plastic, recycling, even those, it's something like 88% of recycled materials never actually get recycled. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't use plastics. Like
that was it.
Yeah.
On October 30th, there was Greenpeace admits that plastic recycling doesn't work.
Yeah, it definitely does not work. You have to have like an incentive to do it because it's like those single-use containers are single-use because they're so inexpensive that there's no real advantage to trying to recreate it out of discarded plastic. So a lot of what used to happen, they're finding new uses for it though. So what used to happen is that they would ship it to China and make it into carpet. Now they've come up with ways to like make it into asphalt and stuff. So that's what it's kind of being collected for now. But it's just not. Yeah, like it's if you're putting it in the recycle bin, odds are it's ending up in the fucking trash heap anyways. But that's something that will improve over time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
You guys want to talk single
Sorry,
stream
I don't-
recycling?
I do. I want to stay on recycling for a second
Yeah.
because the process in which we separate or we rely on society to separate
Yep.
recyclables from trash. And then do we think at some later point in that chain, like a smarter or more responsible person or function is going to come in and correct the mistakes?
Yes, it's already happening. It's just very expensive. They call it single stream
Yeah,
recycling.
I'm saying because my point is if we can do that, then why not just clean the fucking oceans?
Well,
Why not just do like a bunch of shit then? If you have the technology to separate between trash and recyclables, and like, come on, let's.
So they're starting to. There was like a kid who like designed
I saw this actually.
this like machine boat thing that would basically, because it's like something like 98% of the plastic waste is in the first 15 or 20 feet of ocean depth. So you don't really have to like go.
You don't have to crawl the depths.
Right. So you're kind of just
It's
you're not
shoreline work.
right. So you're just kind of able to scrape it up, and I don't know what they're doing with that plastic that's been recovered, but a thing that's becoming more of a thing is single stream recycling, and it's actually like sick to watch if you are a nerd. But they will use like magnets and weight, so they'll be able to be like they're gonna have this big thing that spins, and it's like the paper goes up to the top, the plastic is in the middle, and the metals go down to the bottom, and then they just separate it all out. It's actually like sweet to watch it in action.
I feel like this just makes me think of like a very scary. You don't like scary movies, Dave?
I'm not a fan myself.
I'm not like afraid of them. I just don't often watch them.
It's like a post. I have like a science fiction movie that would terrify. It's like 100 years from now, in a world without bowling, the smart kids come up with good ideas.
That's what we're living
Like
through
this
right
kid
now.
out here is fucking throwing trash out in the ocean, like because there's no bowling. Am I making this up in my head of like a world where like there's just every young kid who's smart is just like out balling out doing crazy shit because assholes like me aren't teasing them?
You don't think we're living through that time right now?
I mean, look at SBF.
It's only going to grow up, man. It's going to explode.
Fucking.
I didn't explain that right in my head. Now there's some people who got bullied who are mad at
Did
me.
you know that they got rid of Sprite bottles are no longer green?
No.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it was harder to recycle, I believe. Like there was,
Yeah, I mean that's
People
just like a
weren't taking
color
it.
additive they put in at stage 1. Like you
Yeah.
can make those plastics any color you want.
Wow.
So
So
it's interesting.
it is interesting.
And it,
Turned
but
into like a little Tuesday episode.
yeah,
here.
I know.
Yeah.
But I do think plastic is way too much of a bad rap. Way too much.
If you
Plastic's
guys would like to
amazing.
keep the Tuesday episode vibes, people are trying to cancel Tampax right now.
For what?
Why?
They had a tweet. It's actually hilarious. So the official Tampax USA account just had a tweet that says, "You're in their DMs, we're in them. We are not the same."
I mean, it's kind of vile, but I don't think you should get canceled for it.
I mean, boycott Tampax is trending right now.
Weren't in them.
I think it's hilarious.
I don't think I want to be in them
In
the
that way.
that Tampax. I'm
Or
not
at least not at
denying
the
that
same
you're-
time.
I'm not saying you're not in there, Tampax.
Yeah.
But
That's crazy.
I think it's hilarious.
You gonna go out and buy some Tampax now?
No, I'm not. I did just piss in the women's room here, and there was Tampax there. I
There you
thought
go.
that was kind of funny.
like most penetration contexts.
Why is that funny?
I don't know. I just never noticed it in there before. Have they always been in there?
Yeah.
I don't use it.
Okay.
All right, shitter.
I don't use it.
That's Eddie's designated shit spot. He knows
I have
exactly. He
I
knows
have
how
a
many.
personal key on my keychain to the men's room
Why do you get a
Why do
personal
you shit
key?
in the
because I
women's?
was offered it when we first moved here, and I took it.
That sounds a little peculiar for you.
It doesn't.
It does.
Does not-
Speaking of suspicious behavior, now what do we got here?
Oh, actually, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
You're gonna get off that easy? You're just like, okay. There's a reason that the Tampax is trying to get, or that people are trying to cancel Tampax right now, but we don't need to go there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. We absolutely, yeah, that's
Let's
fine.
not go there then.
Do you, let's go here. Do you guys want to go to Ann Arbor, Michigan for a second?
We can go up to Ann Arbor. I didn't see 1 second of the game, so
Good.
you'll have to walk me through it.
It was close.
It was a good game. It was a really good game. I watched the whole
Illinois
thing.
lost to Michigan, number 3 Michigan. Illinois 3 losses in a row, 7-4.
Winless in November, right?
That's tough.
Yeah.
We got a big game this week at Northwestern, but we're not talking about that game. Congratulations to Michigan. Fixes in. Maryland got fixed and fucked. So did Illinois. We're all better off for it, though, because not we all, but the general collective
America.
college football. We have undefeated Michigan-Ohio State this weekend.
That's what you always want. That's what you always dream of.
I will fucking sacrifice our Big West championship aspirations so that you,
No, you
heathen
wouldn't.
fucks, can
You-
have an
you would've.
undefeated battle on Saturday. You're welcome.
How gracious of you.
Jake Moody, I you know what? I don't mind losing to a seasoned, experienced veteran kicker in those circumstances. If he was some pussy freshman walk-on, and just for those, Illinois was up 17-10 in the fourth quarter, and then Michigan kicked 3 straight field goals on like 3 straight possessions. It was death slowly. We knew what was happening.
Did you ever feel good? Like, we're going to win this
Oh,
game?
yeah, dude.
You did?
Yeah,
Okay.
Chase Brown took it to the house, little zigzag. And then that just starts to slowly, it's like, ooh, this feels like one of those games where like you really...
When he sailed that ball and they settled for a field goal, what was that with like 5
The
minutes
McCarthy
left?
kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of not that good, huh? I guess
think
that was
he's
the
gonna
first
be a
time I
fucking
saw him
superstar, dude.
like seriously. And
He doesn't
was
have
missing
touch, though.
Kind of need touch.
To
Yeah.
be a superstar? Yeah, dude. What?
No, of course. I think he's going to be a superstar. Right now, he doesn't have touch. He's a redshirt freshman. Or did
Hey,
he?
Big
did,
House had some.
Did he redshirt last year? I know he played a little last year, but I don't know if he got the redshirt or not.
I thought
think
he
he's gonna
played
be
a little
stud.
bit. I thought the Big House had a lot of big vacancies too.
I noticed that. Why was that?
Just not cool to go to games there anymore.
I've always heard that it's a pretty underwhelming experience.
I've heard that as well.
Super quiet, not rowdy.
Fucking
Kinda
tunnel seems
pretentious.
rowdy. What the fuck's going on with that?
The bad tunnel?
Yeah.
Was there an Illinois fight?
Did something happen? Yeah.
No, I don't know.
I don't know
I'm not
exactly
talking
what
about my
happened.
players fight. I'm sure there. If some fisticuffs happened and
I think that's kind of happens. Well, they only have the one tunnel.
Are you juiced up for this game this weekend?
I would. We can't bet this game in Illinois, right?
Correct.
I want to speak about
it's
that.
juicy
also.
enough to like go over to Indiana and bet it then. Because I would like to see Illinois. I think Brett Bielema knows. He's like, this is a chance to beat him by fucking 60 or something.
Exactly.
And like Pat Fitzgerald would
yeah.
do the exact same thing to Illinois. Pat Fitzgerald would
He
like.
has done it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you run up the scoreboard in this game no matter which side you're on.
I just want to go back to this one point though. Like losing college football games more often than not is like you fuck up at the end. You know, there's a fumble, there's an interception, it's sloppy.
College football play.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Bad special teams, yeah.
And I just want to reemphasize, there's something about losing to Michigan in the big house. Michigan played a fucking great game in the set. Like, they played their dicks off in the fourth quarter. And, like, here comes All-American Jake Moody, who's going to kick on Sundays and stuff.
Oh, yeah, he is.
That's a little bit easier to take. It's not
Definitely.
like a
And this
holding
wasn't
or a
supposed
pass
to be-
interference in the end zone. It's just like, what are
Yeah.
you going to do? Michigan's got a tough defense. You guys ran the ball on first and second down when you had the ball under 3 minutes ago. Like,
After
it just is
Illinois
what it is.
lost to Indiana in week 1, like, if you would have said you were 7-4 and, like, competed for the West, I think you'd have taken that, right?
Do they still have
Because
that?
this was
Oh,
still
yeah.
sort of a transition year.
No, I'm
Definitely.
a
Yeah.
snob with my Illinois football. I need.
You need I get that. That's just being a
No,
fan.
it's great, dude. 7-4 with this team, with this program. If they go 8-4, there's a bowl game. Little Duke
But
Mayo
if they're
bowl.
going 8-4.
The other thing too, I hope that the students at Illinois, or like any young Illinois fan, like young enough where like you have kind of fuzzy memories of just how bad we used to be for the last decade, just very much enjoy the fact like Illinois went out one Friday night, came back. I know they lost to Virginia. Like the basketball team's good, the football team's competitive. This never happens.
Yeah.
I'm 35 years old. I'm telling you, it's happened. It happened in 2001.
Yeah.
Kurt Kittner.
Yeah.
Like even in 08, I don't think they
Was
went
that
to the
Kurt
tournament.
Kittner? Was that Kittner or was that Butcher?
I think it was Kittner.
It was Kittner and Rocky Harvey.
Yeah, they went to the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, and got destroyed by LSU,
Yeah.
right?
Come on, I was
That-
sitting 13th row,
That
South End
happens.
zone.
Yeah.
What's-
Do you think anybody? I kind of just think no one's good except for Georgia. Like I would be stunned if Georgia doesn't win everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how college football seems to be this year.
But like, doesn't
I
I
don't
don't know? I feel like Tennessee getting their fucking doors blown off by South Carolina kind of makes you think twice.
About what?
Just like generally the competitive landscape is like Georgia that dominant. I feel like teams are.
I think Georgia's killed everybody. I mean,
At what point do we not realize that fucking Christopher Lloyd is out there helping out TCU? Like fucking angels in the end zone.
But if you
Because
remember, Angels
these
in
fuckers
the
won't lose.
I know, but remember if that is true, I think they stink too. I am not impressed
But you
with them at all.
can't. But they won't lose.
I know, but
We
like
say this week in and week out.
so it almost reminds me of the first year Notre Dame went undefeated with Kelly, and they had all these miracles. The game against Pitt was crazy. The Te'o story was like a team of destiny, like you're saying with TCU, and then they played Alabama, and all that goes out the window. Like if TCU needs a miracle to beat Baylor, then there isn't a God on this earth that can help them beat Georgia, and they're just gonna get smoked.
Yeah.
They're gonna get smoked.
Well, the best playoff right now, the playoff that I want is Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, and USC. That's my horse.
Why
right
is that?
now. Just because I want USC back. And you I mean, you're
No,
on-
I'm with you.
you want Notre Dame this weekend, obviously.
Yeah,
But for my viewing purposes, that will get me most riled up
well,
at the end.
sure, me too. And like, I think USC is definitely one of those programs that makes all of college football more interesting. The whole it pisses me off that. Did you watch the USC UCLA game?
I didn't. I was
Okay.
wrapped up in the
Okay.
high school game.
It was awesome, and like DTR was taking a beating, and like just it was like whoever has the ball last kind of game was going to win. And then UCLA is driving, and he throws a kind of a bad interception. But that whole game was a fight between two teams in the top 15. And then you flip over to the other channel,
Saw a little bit of that, yeah.
Oregon and Utah, and it's just like, man, like the Pac-12 has been down really since they became the Pac-12. I feel like, and now it's like the conference is finally like interesting to have late night college football again. And well, they're just blowing it up.
Yep.
So that fucking sucks. I wish there was like some kind of, I don't know. I almost feel like we should get an antitrust suit or something to like put college football back the way it was. But that was always like when the SEC was really ramping up, we never got like the good USC teams against the best of the SEC, and that always bothered me. But I don't think USC is. I think Notre Dame's going to beat USC. And
I don't think that's a hot take at all.
Yeah,
like Notre Dame seems to be
cooking right now.
They're the type of team that USC doesn't want to play, like just a physical punch you in the mouth for 60 minutes kind of team like Utah was, and that Utah always gives them problems. So I would love USC to be back, but not this year. Like I let them continue to build it, and they're I'm pretty sure they're recruiting well, right, Dave? Like they're top 10 class, and Lincoln Riley's got it going, and Caleb Williams will be back. But I don't know. Like I'd rather have TCU, but I kind of think TCU is going to lose to K-State. Like I think that's going to happen too.
Yeah.
So
USC's got this quarterback commit, Malachi Nelson. I don't know how to say his first name. Malachi Nelson. Malachi. Spelled like Malachi.
It's an Irish name, Malachi. Yeah.
Oh,
Are you acting like you had any fucking clue?
Yeah, I've seen Malachi, buddy. Yeah, Children of the Corn, motherfucker.
You read Angelo's Ashes.
Yeah,
I don't know what those
Mr.
are.
Fucking. I don't watch horror movies because I am a film critic. I only watch the highest cinema.
You didn't know how to spell Malachi. Though.
Yes, I do.
Spell it.
Malachi.
Nope.
Malachi.
Wrong. You're incorrect.
It could be spelled different ways, pal. Malachi.
Yeah. Malachi. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's been like even though I do feel like it's going to be anticlimactic with Georgia just rolling through everybody. It's been a great year of college football. It
has been a very good year. Yeah, aside from my team being like the fucking losers.
Yeah, but like Tennessee's back, and then they're still kind of Tennessee at the end of the day.
Poor Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, poor Hendon Hooker. Yeah, non-contact injury on the brutal. But then you got like I was ready for LSU to just like suck. And now Kelly's kind of got them rolling now too, so it's like that.
2 losses now, I think.
They're 8-2.
Weird year for the Big Ten, though. I feel.
Why is it weird?
Weird but similar. I mean, like Ohio State rolls. Good. Michigan looks like they could be good, but they're probably going to get embarrassed once their big chance comes.
I don't know that they will, though.
Weird in the sense that like you love that the fucking big dogs are good.
Yeah.
And this is what you always wanted for all these years. That this game's going to fucking really mean something this weekend, but. Like besides that,
well, I feel like this is the Big Ten that we grew up with, or at least that I grew up with, where they used to call it like the Big 2 and the Little 8. You know, where it's the Little 9. It was just like no one else was really at that level.
Yeah.
So,
but we did get used to Iowa being pretty fucking strong.
And Wisconsin,
Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Penn State. I think they're still hanging around a little bit.
Big Ten West is just
but still, those teams were fucking really established themselves, and they've kind of drifted down a little bit this season. So weird year in that regard compared to the last decade or so.
You know, it was weird how remember when they first expanded to 12?
Yes.
And they gave us the Leaders and Legends divisions.
Oh yeah.
And they were always just trying to set up like a Michigan versus Ohio State Big Ten championship. And then they were like, you know what, this is fucking stupid. No one can remember who's in what. So let's just make it East-West when they expanded again. And now it's like we're in this era where we would get that game back to back quite a bit if they just got. I think they should just get rid of. I think we've talked about this before. Just get rid of the divisions, and the top 2 teams are the top 2 teams, and then play it out. Like if it's Michigan and Ohio State twice, like I would sign me up for 2 of those. I think that
definitely.
would be fucking sick.
Are they going to be able to do that though? With the fucking now we're going to have 2 California teams and.
When does that start?
I don't know. I don't know any of that.
Yeah.
With the fucking it's 2 years that Oklahoma and Texas are going to go.
Yeah.
Because next year's the last year.
Next year's the last year. But that's one of those things where they should just let's figure it out. We're going to play the last game of the year no matter what. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State.
That's all. I thought about that too. That's a shame that Bedlam couldn't be drafted.
That was one of those games. Yeah. But I don't understand why certain programs, it's just like maybe they care more. Like South Carolina and Clemson play the last game of the year every single year. They're in different conferences. And Georgia Tech, same thing. They play every year, last game of the year, they're in different conferences. Like I feel like everybody should just be able to figure that out regardless of where they are. But then you see Pitt, the backyard brawl dies for a decade. Now they play it the first week and it's like not quite.
It doesn't have the luster.
It was a great game this year, but you're right, it doesn't have the luster.
Hey, speaking of care, innovative care, if you have ADHD and you want a doctor who makes it easy to get your medication, they're located here in Chicago, and that's Innovative Care. They have simplified ADHD management. Here's what you need to know. Innovative Care is a real medical clinic. It's not one of those online-only refill services. They use telemedicine to save you time, and most ADHD patients only come in twice per year, and listen up, they take insurance. A lot of places don't do that, so that is a key detail here about Innovative Care. If you are a resident of Illinois, visit innovativeadhd.com to request a visit. That's innovativeadhd.com. I could speak firsthand about the compassion and the quality of the people that you're dealing with when it comes to Innovative. Back in 2020, the peak of COVID, I went over there for a couple COVID tests, and I was always dealt with the utmost respect and whatnot. So go check them out, innovativeadhd.com to request a visit. Must be a resident of Illinois. They do take insurance.
Need that. Yeah. So that's great.
Yeah. Bears?
Okay, so this is the only thing I have for Bears is thank God the Bears lost so that Will Compton can get year 10 in the league, right? Then he signed with the Falcons. Falcons are 5-6, half a game off first place in the NFC South. They need veteran leadership. They go to Barstool. They hire Will Compton for the remainder of the season. I don't know if the Falcons are in that position if the Bears go down and beat them. So
maybe
chalk one up for the city, Chicago. It's a loss in the fucking standings, but it's a huge win for Will Compton and the boys.
Year 10. Shout out year 10. I got a nugget in this game from Albert Breer, and he called it a nugget too.
I saw this too.
Bears QB Justin Fields apologized to his teammates after Chicago's loss to the Falcons in the locker room post-game. Told them the defense gave the offense a chance and the offense didn't get it done. Went a long way with the guys after he played hurt. And he continues, my understanding is Fields' defensive teammates stopped him as he was finishing the apology and told him they had his back. Really cool moment for everyone there and a nice sign of where Matt Eberflus has taken the culture in Chicago. That's exactly what we're talking about. We obviously Zach Wilson with the Jets, I wish Tom were here right now, is getting fucking murdered on the internet.
Yeah, where the fuck is he? What a
I know.
a coward.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Tom Lay.
As soon as we hit record, I'm like, where is fucking Tom at?
Yep.
Coward.
And so you couldn't be more opposite with those two guys.
He is Tom Lay is Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Not being here right now.
Right. Yep. So it feels like I don't want to hear from anybody that Justin Fields isn't the guy. That's a move that if you're a leader and you're the face of the team, and it doesn't matter that you got carted off and your shoulders hung out and you're on Theragun for your fucking hamstring the entire game, you get up there and be like, hey, that's on me. That's pretty good.
I appreciate it. Didn't need it, though. Didn't need it, because here's the thing. We know. If you're watching the games, you know.
Yeah.
Right? That's the thing. That's such a fucking national talking point. That's bullshit, right? That's such a clickbaity bullshit talking point.
I blogged it.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
Right? All right. So who stuck to that? What, the Sun Times last week with the Lions
I
one?
see what you're saying.
Okay, I got up. I made my video after the game, and I didn't even see people talking about it yet. I just knew people were going to say it, but I was like, "This is such a disingenuous bullshit talking point." If you watch the games, you know that is the least of this team's worries.
Totally.
The least of this team's worries.
But do you like that he did that after the game?
Sure. Yeah. It's nice, but it's not needed, because it's not it's one of those things where it's dude, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Which is what they said too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but in a perfect world, sure, I wholeheartedly agree with you that he wouldn't have to do it. But I think football culture is just stupid.
Yeah.
And now that he's done it, now people get to brand him as that's a guy who's willing to stand up in front of his teammates after a loss and take forward. Now, whether it matters or what, the fact that he'll walk around the locker room now, next year, new guys come in, they're like, yo, here's the deal with Justin. He'll stand up and tell you it's on him. That's how much he cares. Does it really matter in that moment this weekend? No, but if it fucking changes the way a sixth rounder feels and it changes the way guys, the next wave of guys around Justin Fields feel, and now that's a fucking reach.
But it's life, buddy. It's life. People like to sit there around their fucking lives, and they just like to tear people down. They like to look at their teams, and they they do. They like to tear people down. They're unhappy with their quarterbacks. They're unhappy with everything else, and they just like to tear people down. They see people having fun. They see people happy with their quarterback, and they just like to tear people down.
Yep.
That's all it is. They see people, Justin Fields, he's so good.
RB1.
Oh, but the Bears lose? I just keep seeing the Bears lose, and why are they talking about Justin Fields? I'm just going to start this, and you know it. And that's the same thing. We're in the rundown. Same thing Portnoy said to me, calling him Mr. 58 minutes. Fuck you. That's just a bullshit narrative.
It is.
It's bullshit.
It is.
I mean,
he would fucking die for Justin Fields over Mac Jones.
And you know that he knows that, right?
Yes, he would die.
Oh, yeah.
So,
he's trolling.
he's
He's full
Patriots
of
fans
shit.
would die for Justin Fields over Mac Jones right now. Die for that.
He is on
They would.
pace
They would.
right now for about 1,400 yards rushing, 2,500 yards passing. In the last 5 games, he's got a 99.7 QB or passer rating, completing 65% of his passes, and he's got 9 touchdowns, 3 picks.
Shut him down.
Yeah, pretty much right.
Yeah, shut him down.
It sucks because I'd like to see him get 1,000 yards rushing
Well-
because you don't see that out of
what?
quarterbacks.
You want the Packer game?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think he should play about Sunday. I guess
They've
give
listed
him
him as day to
Simeon.
day. I mean,
But he also was non-committal about it being potentially season-ending.
yeah. This
Like,
his
Jeff's got
shoulder is pretty. Has
It
anyone
was his
done
left
that?
shoulder. Fuck no. That sounds
did
awful, though.
I did the they call it a subluxation. It's like the same thing, but it
heard
just
that, yeah.
slides in and out on its own. And I did that when I was 17.
It's because you're not an athlete. But
No, it's because I played contact sports, which you wouldn't know anything about, and it fucking hurts. It fucking hurts. So I can't imagine trying to like just take any. Well, I can imagine because I played in the state championship with it, but it's fucking so painful. It's like it's of all the injuries I've had, that was probably the most acute pain like in the moment. It's fucking brutal. So imagine him just like rolling out, and even if it's not his throwing shoulder, if you get little dings on it, it's gotta fucking kill.
Yeah, I mean, Jets have a top 10 defense too.
Yeah.
I just don't.
What's the point?
yeah, let him sit out.
It's not
Yeah.
worth it. That's selfishly. I want him to play against the Packers. I want him to drag his nuts over Green Bay's face. I do. But then if you have him sit against the Packers, if you have him sit against the Jets, then why are you going to have him come back against the Packers if the bye week's the week
Just
after?
make him live in a hyperbaric
You know what I
chamber
mean?
for a little bit.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
Like, it just doesn't make much sense.
I would agree.
But I also don't know the extent of his injury.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough.
But it's one of those situations where it's like I would be excessively cautious because, like we said all along, it's all about the next year and probably the year after. So just be excessively cautious. I said, you know, I blogged him like just not day to day, make him like holiday to holiday. So if he's out for Thanksgiving, make him out for Christmas, and maybe we get a little something the last couple games of the year against the Vikings or something. But like let's just fucking chill for the month of December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good.
we're in a great spot.
Like I said, he didn't need to do that. It's if you're watching these, like I said, dude, he's like,
Yeah, like I just typed in Justin Fields to see if there's any updates on Twitter, and this fucking loser, Jake Circus. Never mind. I saw the check mark, so I assumed he was somebody. But he goes, Justin Fields is now 0-4 with 2 game-losing interceptions since he became the greatest quarterback ever. It's got 16
Twitter Blue subscription.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's
Twitter-
got 16,000 likes on it.
is that going to be a new thing?
1,200
Twitter Blue?
retweets.
He just suspended it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but like check marked. Like if
Yeah. So yeah.
are
We
they
go
taking away
back-
those check marks?
I don't know if they're taking them away, but they're pausing the rollout of the program because they want to be able to make sure they have like proper authentication for people, which they just don't have yet.
No, what I'm saying is that going to be a thing though. Like if you got Twitter blued, like Dave just got Twitter blued.
Oh,
You know,
I mean, when it first started, I was getting duped every fucking 2 minutes.
for you.
Yeah, fake Adam Schefters. There was one. It was a Woj bomb where the
to
Nets
be
released
honest with you,
Kyrie.
Twitter blue is not fair for your brain.
For Dave specifically, or
Yeah,
you mean people?
for Dave.
I just don't
specifically.
talk on Twitter at night hardly anymore because that's usually when I get in my most trouble because I'm like cooking dinner and it's like, oh, let's fire off a tweet.
you've had it. You've had a little chi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just like I'm like no more Twitter at
Yeah.
night.
Bears are up to the 3rd overall pick in the draft.
That
now,
is
which
not a bad thing, my friends.
That's probably where you want to be.
What's the record? 3-7.
3-8.
3-8. Let's get a top 5 pick, Ed. I mean, especially if Fields is out right now.
It'd be great to get it. Well, your boy is
bombs away.
It'd be the quarterback.
Trevor Siemian.
Your dog park buddy.
Trevor Siemian has had just an incredible career. Obviously, I'm not talking on the stat sheet or in terms of wins and losses or Super Bowls or anything, but what a life does that guy have? I was getting recognized at the dog park more than he was. I was the only one that recognized him.
Totally anonymous.
Totally anonymous with his like Alan from The Hangover baby character, the golden doodle with him.
It's nice.
And he's making a couple mil a pop, Ed. And he has for what, 7-8 years now?
Good for him.
Yeah.
So I think he's
30 years
actually
old.
making $4 million, 2 years, $4 million signing bonus. So it's like $3 million in salary. So I guess question is like, if they do sit Justin Fields on the stretch, and Trevor Siemian goes out and fucking torches it, can you trade him for like a third? You know, can you trade like what are we doing here? A little draft capital?
Well,
Yeah.
Just find a new backup. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
can't, but
Yeah.
I would love to be Trevor
fuck
Siemian.
around.
What
Yeah.
a life that guy lives.
yeah. But yeah, all is well. Justin.
How about this? Nathan
Appreciate
Peterman,
it,
the
but-
Bears' third-string quarterback, has a QBR of 1.7, and he hasn't entered a game yet. I don't know how
He's
that
not
works.
with us. He's not on the team.
Is he? I don't know. That's what ESPN says.
I thought he was
No.
on the practice squad. I thought he was a practice
Well,
squad.
yeah,
QB.
that doesn't.
Yeah, he's not on it.
Doesn't
He's
compute.
not on the
Yeah.
official Bears
Yeah,
depth
yeah.
chart.
I'm
Let's get
excited
to
for that
Danny
tonight.
Sabatello. I'm a member of the Italian Mafia now, right?
Telling gangster, remember the Mafia, baby.
This dude's electric. I dare you guys to give him 60 seconds. If you can't hang for the rest of the interview after that, you might be dead. So without further ado, here's Danny Sabatello.
All right, so we are in the interview portion of the show. We are joined by Bellator bantamweight fighter, Chicago native, Arlington Heights, maybe I should say.
Yep,
It
absolutely.
doesn't fucking matter. Danny, the Italian gangster Sabatello. Although I'll be honest, I shouldn't even say that because I question that you're fucking from here, dude, because you look like you're from Jersey or some shit.
No. Straight Chicago. I'll always rep Chicago no matter what.
Do you get that a lot, though, or people are confused?
Yeah, it's funny. The MMA community says that I'm from Jersey. Every time I see an interview and there's comments, people are saying, oh, he's a Jersey guy by the way he talks, by the way he carries himself. But that's just not the case. Fuck Jersey. Jersey can go fuck themselves. Chicago till I die.
I feel like there's some Purdue athlete vibes though that like do have jerseyness to them. Like in my experience, I feel like Purdue athletes can be a little bit, loud, so to say.
No, absolutely. We're very hot-headed, and that's kind of how Jersey people are. They're a little bit more confident. That's kind of how I carry myself with my swagger. But, Chicago is very similar to Jersey. We're just a little bit better in every single way. But you know what? If someone wants to say that I'm from Jersey, I'll take it. But you're mistaken. I'm totally Chicago. So,
Yeah. And I'm very much a casual in the MMA game, dude. So I watch a lot of the big fights, and your last fight, you caught my eye, and then when I saw you're from Chicago, and I was just like, dude, there's no way. So we had to get you in here. So thanks for doing this. Thanks for hopping in. And we got to start at the front. This podcast, Redline Radio. We like to joke around. We probably talk about high school sports the most in any podcast, major podcast probably in the city, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like this is a big part of this is the identification that we have across the city. That's a fabric of the show from the very beginning stages. So then as Barstool got bigger and the show gets bigger and the office we're not departing from the roots. We will still talk high school football. We will still talk high school rivalries.
Sick.
That's just the way it is.
who's killing it right now?
In high school?
Yeah.
Carmel.
Well, there's right now, this will already previously air right now, but there's a big matchup this weekend between St. Rita and Mount Carmel to go downstate for football.
man.
ESCC.
So huge, yeah. Well, the Catholic League now, they were always in the Catholic League, but it's all merged as one. ESCC is kind of dead, and it's all rolled up into one. So, yeah.
Nice.
But, yeah, so you went to Vider, and then you transferred to Stevenson, right?
Yep, went to Vider for my first 2 years. That was always the whole plan growing up. I have two older brothers, Joey and Vinny. They went to Vider. They graduated before me. And then while I was at Vider, I was a big wrestler, and they dropped enrollments. So then they dropped class systems. And I wanted to be the best of the best. I wanted to be in the big school wrestling. I wanted to win state in the big class. I didn't want anybody to say that, if he was in the big class, he would have lost. I wanted to leave no doubt. And I dedicated my life to wrestling. So I had to transfer to Stevenson High School, which is awesome. I love both high schools. I rep them both. And then I won 2 state titles at Stevenson, no big deal, kind of a big deal.
Huge.
And then went on and wrestled Division I in the Big Ten at Purdue and graduated from there and then kicked off my fighting career.
Big fucking deal. What weight class did you win state at?
I won state my junior year, I believe 119, and then senior year 125. So a lot of cutting weight. You know, obviously in wrestling, that's not what you walk around naturally. You're cutting a shit ton of weight. It's torture. You got this fucking teacher talking about some bullshit that you don't want to think about. You're just thinking about how you're going to cut these last pounds. You're so dehydrated in class. But you know what? That's why wrestlers are separate from everybody else. That's why whenever you meet another wrestler and you're a wrestler, there's an immediate bond between the two. It's just kind of, you know what they're going through, you know what you've been through, and it's just awesome inside the wrestling community to have that bond with other wrestlers.
So talk bond for a second. The state tournament, I went to Illinois, and that's a legendary weekend because it's like, don't go out to the bars. The cops raid the bars. All the high school kids are down. The fights all over on campus. Just dumb high school kids doing crazy shit and then still showing up the next day and competing against themselves. At this broader level, like, how does high school wrestling across the Chicagoland area like prepare you? Now you beat up dudes for a living. When you're like running around and up against like other Chicago kids, are you thinking about like the future, just like getting out and being like this really big badass, or like how does that evolution, or when does that click for you as like a Chicago kid like wrestling, or is it when you get to Purdue?
Yeah, absolutely. So for starters, Illinois is a massive wrestling state. It's probably top 3 in the country. Ohio is very good. Pennsylvania is very good. And then I would put Illinois at probably number 3. So just knowing that you're going up against elite competition, if you're going to do good, you're probably one of the best in the entire country. And that's what I was when I won state. I was one of the best in the entire country. But throughout my whole life, throughout my whole wrestling career, I always knew once I graduated from college and was done with wrestling, I would transition right into fighting. You know, my first love my whole life is fighting. I think I'm a good wrestler because I'm a good fighter. So obviously I had to keep my focus, keep my goals in check in wrestling, had to accomplish what I wanted to do there before I started even thinking about fighting. But honestly, it's fucking hard to do it when you're taking a guy down and you just want to put your elbow through his fucking skull, and you can't. You just have to put him on his back like some pussy shit. So I knew the whole time when I was wrestling, I would go into fighting. And I was kind of just counting down the minutes towards my junior and senior year of college. I just wanted to really get my hands on somebody and beat the shit out of them. So I tried keeping my focus as long as I could, but right after I graduated, I was full steam ahead on the fighting.
Were you fighting on weekends at St. Viator? Like, it's Friday night, fucking Danny's, fucking...
Yeah, you know, when you have a good wrestler at your school, you kind of get this reputation of you can beat the shit out of anybody. So whether it was me starting a fight or any of my boys starting a fight, it always seemed like I was the one finishing it. You know, if my boy was in over his head or there was more people that had the enemy's back, I always had to step in. But, you know what, I love that. My guys will always be able to count on me. I'm a very loyal guy. You can always trust me. And my boys are the same way. You know, the guys that I grew up with at Viator, my freshman and sophomore year, are still some of my best friends today. In fact, my best friend right now, Chad, I convinced him to move down to South Florida with me, and he's a Viator guy as well, and he's loving it. So, you know, those are connections. Those are guys that you make bonds with in high school that you carry around your whole entire life.
Just 2 fucking maniacs fucking walking down South Beach.
Would you just look at me?
Yeah.
Are you one of the, or were you a look at me guy, or was it like somebody had to start shit with you, or were you looking to start shit?
No,
because you guys have the reputation of being like, dude, this guy, like, get a couple drinks in those wrestlers, and like some shit's going down in the back room at the bar.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have some regrets and you have some stupid decisions you do as a kid in high school and college. But my junior year in college, I got in a bit of a trouble for getting in a fight. And I almost got thrown out of the university, which kind of was an eye-opener for me. I got in a bad fight and fucked a dude up pretty good. It was kind of a scary process because I almost got kicked out. And that was just going to be probably the biggest nightmare of my life. Mm-hmm. And ever since that happened, I don't ever start any fights. I'm never looking for trouble. If some drunk asshole at the bar throws his drink on me or something like that, I try to keep it calm. I try to keep it cool. I don't want to get in any more bar fights for the rest of my life. But sometimes, dude, if another dude draws the line, you have to put him in his place. You know, at the end of the day, I'm a fucking man, and I'm going to stick up for myself, stick up for my boys, stick up for a girl if something happened. But yeah, I try not to get in any fights, but dude, sometimes it just fucking happens.
Yeah, no, that's such a young man's game, though. Like, you're right. You can't, like, there needs to be someone that warns you. Like, I always say that too. There should be, like, you've been to Laser Quest. Like, you know how they warn you before, like, you can't sit near or lie. There should be someone before who walks in and it's like, hey, this could, you know, here's the ramifications if you fucking, someone spills a drink on you, this could happen to you if you curb stomp some dude. Like, you're going to go to fucking, if he goes to sleep, like, you'll go to jail for, like,
yeah, absolutely. And it's usually the fucking idiots that don't even know how to fight that are starting the fight.
It's just not worth it, man.
And either way, at the end of the day, the fight doesn't usually happen because when push comes to shove and you actually get in the guy's face and you say, hey, listen, how about me and you just go outside, fuck your boys, leave them here, I'll leave my boys, we'll just go out and we'll settle this. They'll find a way to not fucking actually throw down and fight. They just want to throw one punch in the bar and then have it get broken up. So nobody's really about that life. But either way, I don't even want to be caught up in it at all.
Not worth it, dude. Now, the question, you said you just couldn't wait your last 2 years there at Purdue because you always just knew you wanted to put your hands on people. Do you think it's going to be kind of the new age? Like, because were you training like kickboxing and shit by then, or were you still just kind of dead focused, locked in on wrestling? Is that a thing, or it's like, no, you need to focus on what you're getting your tuition paid for?
Yeah, to be successful in wrestling, you need to have your life absolutely dedicated to it. So I wasn't taking any kickboxing classes or jiu-jitsu or karate or Muay Thai or anything like that. I was full steam ahead with wrestling. And then right when I graduated, that's when the flip switched. I actually moved here to Lakeview. I lived at 3450 North Lakeshore Drive, which was like a half a mile away from Wrigley Field. That was in 2016, okay? I vividly remember after the Cubs winning the World Series, which was the coolest thing that I've ever witnessed in my entire life, everybody coming together, no matter what your stance is, your gender, your race, ethnicity, anything, everybody came together that night and it was just Chicago. It was the coolest thing ever. I was fucked up for probably a week straight. I was getting hammered. I was doing some stupid ass shit. And it was then that I realized, you know what? If I want to accomplish my goals in fighting and live out my dreams, I need to make a big fucking move. And that's when I realized, you know what? Chicago was home. Chicago's the shit, but it might be best for me to get out of here. I party too much. I need to focus on myself. There's not any really huge MMA gyms in the Chicagoland area, so I got to do it big, and I did do it big. I went to the best gym in the world, an American Top Team that's down in South Florida, and I didn't really know anybody. I knew nobody at the gym. I didn't even know anybody that lived in Florida. I kind of just showed up on their doorstep and hoped that they would let me in, and they did, and it's been awesome.
So do you have to like
since.
fight someone when you show up day one, or like what does that look like? Or like you show up and they're like, all right, well, like what's your background, or is it like an interview process?
Well, I did a little bit different. You're supposed to be accepted to the gym. You're supposed to reach out to them, see if you're accepted. I moved down there, and I snuck into the building, and I snuck into a class. And it's funny to this day because Richie, the GM, found me, and he was like, who the fuck are you? What are you doing here? And I'm like, oh, I train here now. And I didn't even know he was the GM. I thought he was just some guy just like saying, who are you? And I was like, oh, no, I train here now. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, that's funny. No, I'm the fucking GM. Come talk with me. We go to his office. I explained to him everything. I was like, listen, I'm a Division I Big Ten wrestler. I just moved from Chicago. I need to train here. I need to accomplish my goals. And he's like, listen, we'll give you a little trial period. So I had to have a little tryout for like a week or so. And then obviously I killed it, and they let me in.
But now, is that the future though? Because you won state twice. You're 18 years old, you win state twice. Granted, you probably became much more of a polished wrestler, but I don't want to say this a knock on you because obviously you're such a great wrestler, but people want to say if there is a knock, like, oh, you're good on the ground, you're not a striker. But if you did go straight from high school to being a kickboxing training and you did become more polished in everything, like, is that the future to do that and not go straight to wrestling all the way through? Is that the future?
Yeah, maybe. It's hard to say. You know, MMA is becoming more mainstream, so I think the jig is up. Everybody is a fan of it now. Everybody follows it. Anytime there's a big card, everybody's talking about it, getting reservations at a bar or a club for it. With me, I am a wrestler by design, and that is my background, but I think my hands are just as good. People don't understand because they're fucking idiots and they don't understand fighting. It's very risky on the feet. Anybody can knock out anybody. Totally. If you take a little kid and he hits you as hard as he can to your face, boom, your lights are fucking out. I don't care who the fuck you are. So with me, it's almost like why would I take the risk and be on the feet when I know I can take this guy down and just beat the shit out of him into a TKO or a submission? You know, I'm not dumb. I do know that people want to see Rock'em Sock'em Robots. You know, people want to see someone die in that cage. I'm aware of that. When I'm walking out to the cage, I got people saying, you're going to fucking die or you're going to fucking kill this guy. It's fucking crazy. I know it. This is the entertainment business. They want to see somebody die. They want to see someone's head get blown off. But, you know, to me, this is my profession. All I care about is becoming the best fighter in the fucking world. So I got to do what I got to do to be the best fighter in the fucking world. You know, I do say my stand-up is just as good as my grappling. In this fight, I'll be able to show that. But again, a lot of the times, the smarter fighter wins. You know, if you're so much better on the ground, why the fuck would you go on the feet? Mm-hmm. You know, but my stand-up is very good. It's getting only better, you know. I've only been doing it for like 4 years now, but I still think that I'll be able to knock out any bantamweight in the world.
So when you go to the ground, can you, like a novice like me, what's like one or two things I should be looking for? Because to me, it's like you guys just on the ground. It's so hard to like foul. So like, what's like your primary strategy, or what's something I can look for?
Yeah, just straight up control. You know, if you're on top on the ground, you're winning. That's the bottom line. If you see a guy landing a bunch of strikes, obviously he's winning. If you see a guy go into a submission attempt, he's going to be winning. You know, the scoring criteria in MMA is a little bit different. I don't think people completely understand that. But if you ever see a guy on top in a fight and the grappling exchanges, it's pretty likely that he's winning, unless the guy on bottom is throwing up all these crazy different triangle chokes and arm bars and leg locks like that. But with this fight coming up December 9th at the Mohegan Sun Casino with Rafian Stotts, make no mistake, you're not going to be confused on who's winning the fight. It's going to be me bashing his fucking face in on the canvas repeatedly, and that's just what's going to happen.
Have you always been a heel? Or are you leaning into this role? Like, were you a cocky kid?
I mean, I don't really consider myself a heel. I'm just me. I do talk a lot of shit, but I talk a lot of shit whatever I do. You know, if we were to leave this room and go play ping pong, I'd talk shit to you. That's just who I am. I love talking shit. I like making things fun. I like making it interesting. But, you know, it is funny because whenever I meet people outside of the MMA world or anything like that, they're always saying, you know what, you're actually like such a nice guy to your friends and family, where of course I'm nice to my fucking friends and family. You see me interact with my family and I'm like the nicest fucking guy. Of course that. It's I talk shit to my fucking opponent. And I should. Everybody should. Yeah. These motherfuckers, these pussies that go inside the cage that hug their opponent and shake their hand before the fucking contest, it blows my fucking mind. This guy is trying to take away your hopes, your goals, your dreams, everything you've worked for. They're trying to smash your face on TV in front of your family. That's not going to happen. That's not my friend. That's not somebody that I'm going to shake hands with. I'm going to fucking hate you, and I'm going to talk shit. So that's just kind of how I'm wired. I know everybody's different, but everybody is also a pussy, so... yeah, I don't know. That's just who I am.
Well, is it real, though? Is the hate real, or is this something you're doing to help psych yourself up professionally? Like, do you sincerely, personally hate this Rafael pussy?
Yeah, I sincerely do. You know, I'm going to hate every single fucking enemy and opponent that I ever have, no matter what. But this one just feels different just because I don't like exactly who he is. He's a fucking tryhard. Every time I go on Instagram or Twitter or anything, he's always commenting and liking everyone's post. He needs such fucking gratification from having everybody like him, and he wants everyone to be a fan of his, and I'm the exact opposite. I don't give a fuck. You can like me, you can hate me. You think I give a fuck about that shit? He is somebody that, he wants to be buddy with them, and he'll give you a fake laugh if you tell a joke. I don't give a fuck. So we're very opposites. We're very opposite fighters. That's why it makes everything very interesting on this fight. It's a main event fight. Everybody realizes this is going to be one of the biggest fights in Bellator history, and it's definitely going to provide some fucking entertainment. I hope he's able to survive the first couple rounds, because I do want to torture this motherfucker. I want to make it bloody, and I want to give him stitches and scars on his face the rest of his life. But I hope I don't finish him quick, because I do want to torture him.
It's for $1 million, right?
The next one's for $1 million. So this is the semifinal. Okay. Bellator does this awesome Grand Prix tournament, which I don't know why other MMA promotions don't. You know, in every other sport, football, baseball, hockey, basketball, they do a playoff. That's to see who the best is. In MMA, you can kind of cherry pick who gets a title shot. You'll always have fans saying, but did he deserve the title shot and all that? No, fuck that. With this Bellator Grand Prix, it's, you think you're the best? All right, prove it. We're going to do a little fucking tournament, and you'll be able to prove who's the best. And right now, we're in the Final Four. Me, Rafian Stotts, some Russian, and some other bitch who also fucking sucks on the other side of the bracket. So the December 9th one is the semis, and that's going to be a big one.
Are you close with guys in other weight classes that you don't have to fight, or is it just this fucking chip everywhere?
Nope. I hate everybody except American Top Team teammates. You know, my guys At American Top Team is all I communicate with. That's all I care about. When we go to these fight cards and all these other fights, I see all these fighters buddy with other people, and that's just not who I am. Because I know, since American Top Team is a massive gym, we got a ton of pro fighters. If I'm talking to this fucking guy, Joe Matagatz, that's a lightweight, I know he's probably going to fucking fight my teammate, and I'm going to have my teammates back, so why the fuck would I try to be friends with this guy? I didn't get into this business. I didn't get into this game to make friends. I got into this game to beat the shit out of people. So everybody, unless you're American Top Team, can go fuck themselves.
Top Team. Arlovsky's in Top Team?
Yep.
Yeah, he's a
absolute
Chicago
legend
guy.
of the sport. We got a ton of guys. Junior Dos Santos is also legendary heavyweight. Moicano just had a big win. Dustin Poirier, who beat McGregor, is ATT. Jorge Masvidal is ATT. We got the best fighters in the world.
Yeah, Muhammad Lawal, he's another Chicago guy.
Yeah, he is. Is he Chicago? I think he's Milwaukee. No,
Is he
Chicago?
I think he did. I think he maybe. I could be wrong. Maybe I got the wrong.
I don't
guy.
know. He's not American Top Team, so he can go fuck
He's
himself.
not.
What are
I
fans
that, but-
like when guys come up to you and say what's up? Like what's obviously with like we know baseball, basketball, like with the hey, holy shit. Is it different for you guys because you're not necessarily ATT, you have a team, but people as fans don't identify necessarily like they like you. What's that like? People coming up to you in South Beach or you travel back to Chicago or just like in general, I suppose like general stranger fan interactions like?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love the fans. I'll always, be nice. I give everybody an autograph, a picture, everybody that I come in contact with. But I do take it with a grain of salt because I know probably 5 minutes before meeting me, they probably just tweeted that I fucking suck and that they can't wait to see me die in the cage. So you never know people's real feelings. But again, I'm always going to be nice. If you ride with me, if you're riding this Sabatello Mafia, then that's fucking awesome. I'll be fucking awesome and I'll be there for you guys. It's going to be one hell of a fucking wave. But I do take everything with a grain of salt. Just because I know, my last fight in Connecticut was also at the Mohegan Sun against Leandro Higo, and the entire crowd was fucking booing me. They were screaming at me. I was flicking off the crowd. It was fucking awesome. That's the shit that I want. But they were all booing me. They were hating on me, all this shit. And it's funny because later that night when I was getting fucked up at the casino, I had a bunch of people coming up to me asking me for pictures and autographs. So it's like, I know you motherfuckers were just booing me and hating on me, but now you want a fucking picture. Which, you know what? That's just it. That's the business I got in. I accept that. I'm going to be nice. I will give them the pictures and autographs, but I know half the people love me and half the people hate me.
What about Jersey Chasers?
Jersey Chasers are the best. There's a lot of them. They're also fucking just as crazy. So sometimes you got to steer clear. I'm 3 weeks out from probably the biggest fight of my life, so I'm trying to steer clear of that kind of shit. But
Keep those legs strong.
But the
huh?
DMs and like you're going into a fight, hey, I like the way you fight.
No, absolutely. But you can't even fucking entertain it, dude. I don't even check my DM. From now until the end of the fight, I probably won't check my DMs. I don't even want to think about it. I do think girls make your mind weak. I don't even want to go down that path.
Don't you get horny before a fight?
I mean, I'm always horny, of course. But you can't even fuck with that. You really, in this business, dude, I'm going in there and I could fucking die. I could get paralyzed. I could kill somebody. I could paralyze somebody. I got to be hitting on all cylinders. I got to have mental clarity to the fullest. So I can't even fuck with any of that shit. All I think about is just kill. Thanksgiving is coming up next Thursday. I'm not going home. I'm not going back to Chicago to see my friends and family. I'll be in the fucking gym like a motherfucking animal getting ready for December 9th.
Yeah, it's going to be good, man. I'm excited for it. So check that out December 9th. It's on Showtime, is that right?
Yep, Showtime.
Showtime. Check it out. Danny, thanks for coming in, man. This was fun. Pride of Stevenson, Pride of St. Vita, Purdue. Go check it out.
Awesome.
Well, no, you had one more question for me.
What was that?
Well, pre-show.
Pre-show? Well, no, I got everything I needed, man. That's what
I thought, no, there was like a one wrestling question. You were like,
well,
we
no,
got to make sure.
Just talking to him and everything, it's great to know, like, just him talking how he is and how, into talking shit and how cocky he is. It's just, he is the guy you saw at the wrestling meets and he's sitting down at U of I. He's the guy who made it to the big stage in the MMA. He's the guy you saw wrestling around, those fucking weird wrestling guys who are just, fucking playing with each other's asses and shit. Fucking, that's who it is, That's,
No, there are a bunch of fucking weird wrestlers. And I will say it, if you're not in the wrestling community and you're at a party and everybody's hammered, there will be fucking some drunk wrestlers going at it in the kitchen. You'll be like, what the fuck is going on? But I swear it's all in fun.
Thank you.
I know. And I believe you. That's what I'm saying. So you only understand it if you've been around this group of guys. So I get it. So
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, man. Good luck. Go smash that motherfucker. Can't wait to watch. Can't wait to follow you. And I'd like to join the Mafia. I don't know what that entails, but I want to join.
You're absolutely automatically in, both of these.
Awesome. We're
Thanks,
in.
Danny.
Danny, awesome. Good luck, man. Thanks for doing this again.
Yep, thank you. Chicago for life.
Awesome.
Good stuff. Good stuff from Danny there.
Do you think that now that he is rising to fame in Bellator, he's going to need some help balancing his finances with? I mean, I got an idea for him if he is, but I mean, I'm not one to typically infringe on any.
What's your idea, David?
I think I would point him towards Ridge Wallet.
Oh, yeah?
Ridge Wallet is not about balancing finances. It's actually just a wallet company.
I mean,
It's not a financial service product.
We can start that over too.
Nope.
Well, Carl, I've been told it holds up to 12 cards plus room for cash.
That's true.
Yeah.
A lot of room for cash for all your financial management. There's over 30 colors and styles, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium, made with RFID blocking technology that protects you from digital pickpocketers.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. So they also have a new key case to help you organize your keys in case, you got anything on that, David?
Well, I mean, if you stole a fucking men's bathroom key from somebody at the start of the year and
Eddie
wanted to keep track of it, and
I did not.
Ridge Wallet has that functionality for you.
Yeah, so it secures anywhere from 2 to 6 keys. It organizes your keys in a compact silhouette, fold out, easy access. There are 6 colors, including, like we said before, same as the wallet, carbon fiber and burnt titanium. Really cool product, makes a great gift. Get the best offer at ridge.com/RLR and save up to 40% through December 22nd. Again, Ridge, RIDGE.com/RLR for 40% off.
Sabatello's going to need a couple Ridge wallets after he wins the $1
Yep.
million bucks.
Yeah, it's
after-
well said.
A few of
Yep.
them.
It's a good transition.
Oh yeah.
Enough room for cash to make it rain.
These things are nice. If I here's my last. Just go to ridge.com and you will see these wallets. It's not a fucking. What are you laughing at?
Well, he texts Dave just a bang. He just refuses to mute it.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I hate this fucking electronics. I just want a button to push instead of having to push buttons to get to a button to push it. That's fair, is it not?
Well, can I show you something?
Push, push, push. There. What are you doing? No, the focus. I got it. And I had to dig for this too. For 1 hour. Is that
Continue, Carl. Sorry.
No, what was I don't.
He just you always get the email ding on his laptop 100 times out of 100.
It's happened twice today, and 99% of the other times I have muted my computer.
Okay.
I apologize. If I had Ridge Wallet, that wouldn't happen.
I agree. You're right.
Yeah.
RFID blocking technology also extends itself to.
Well, if you're smart enough to have a Ridge wallet, you're smart enough to mute your computer.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Go to the Ridge Wallet website because they are like.
I'm going to go right now because I'm sick
is-
of having a George Costanza wallet like a schlobo.
It's unique enough for me to go check these things out because they are.
Yeah, they're cool looking. They're like a cool
Sleek.
guy wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool guy wallet. Is a good way.
Yeah.
That, on top of being more functional than a standard garbage wallet like all you bozos have out there, it's also a conversation starter. Oh, where'd you get that wallet? Oh, I got it from Ridge.
How much money's in here? Took it
Yeah.
How much money do you think I have?
Yep.
Highly durable too. You guys go out hiking,
Hunting.
real active lifestyle.
Yeah. Need it.
All right, one guy I know kept his Ridge wallet in his back right baseball pocket, and he got drilled with an 83-mile-an-hour fastball in men's league and didn't even feel a thing. The ball hits the Ridge wallet, just fucking.
It probably single out to center field.
Umpire's like, take your base.
Probably Dave.
Probably thought it hit the bat.
It's a good Ridge wallet.
Ridge.com/RLR. Thank you. I do have one note on the Cubs. My big thing for a long time was just Nico Horner is a great player. He deserves to be in the lineup every day. He's earned it. He's a middle infielder. He should play second base. I got shit on throughout the season for that. A lot of dumb Cubs fans. Well, just he's our shortstop. Why would you fucking move him off this position? See how fucking good he is? It's yeah, that's right. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about how stupid those people are, but The idea is that he could go to second base and be like an all-star second baseman, or he could play at his best level to be an average shortstop.
Sounds like it's an easy choice.
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Very easy.
I got shit on it. Was like, well, I think the Cubs are going to do that. I have a ton of faith and conviction that the Cubs are going to go spend like $300 million on one of these three shortstops: Trey Turner, Carlos Correa, or Dansby Swanson. Maybe Xander Bogaerts.
That would
probably
make
not.
complete sense because it fits their exact timeline. That's what a true organization that is trying to win as many baseball games as possible for an extended amount of time would do when they're on the precipice of starting that sustained period of success. So
here's how
I would say that is going to happen.
Here's how I know they're going to do it is because they didn't spend any in the last couple of off seasons. Spent like a lot of people are bitching mid-tier payroll. They just had Jim DeShays go on Marquee Network, and he was talking about like here's a move I could see the Cubs doing. Now Jim DeShays is our color guy.
JD.
Yeah, JD. JD went on Marquee Network for like a fucking evening roundtable with Cole Wright. Like, so JD, welcome in studio. Now I love Cole Wright, great guy. This has nothing. Cole Wright is a fucking awesome guy. Does a great job in studio. Great, personally, professionally, whatever. He's lumped into this though because he's hosting the show, and you have to imagine. I mean, not have to imagine. The Cubs absolutely 100% put JD on that fucking thing, and they're like, all right, just start. You say it out loud. Here's what I would do. I would seriously consider moving Nico Horner to second base. And it just starts with that. It's as simple as having JD go on your own fucking TV network and just put it out there so then it becomes a social clip. And now it's in the news that like the Cubs are willing to move Nico Horner. Now, you're a sensible sports fan, as am I. I imagine a lot of people listening to this are. It makes sense why you would do that. But people are so dumb and Cubs fans are so – he's like, why would you move Nico? That they have to take the step. They have to take the step of like putting JD, who's like a warm, friendly guy who's been calling baseball games on the north side for like a decade. Okay, now here's JD. He's going to tell, Uncle fucking Susie and Aunt. Well, I guess it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying. Like,
yeah. He's paving the way, putting the narrative out there.
And it's not his own organic. I mean, maybe it is his organic thought, but for him to go on Marquee Network and stare in the camera and be like, this is what I can see them doing.
Yeah, like even if they didn't, I don't think he would have gotten a call from the Cubs being like, dude, what are you doing? Like, don't say that because we're not
I
spending.
think the producers are very much getting some great talking points on a weekly basis from some high-level people.
I would agree.
Definitely.
So I think that's the thing to do. I do think that there is an element of sports fans in everywhere where you fall in love with your own guy. So it's like they've been following Nico Horner now for how many years? How many years since he was drafted?
Been, I mean, like 3, 2 of which.
Yeah, it wasn't
Right.
very long ago.
But still, like he's a guy that came up. He's a homegrown guy. Like, and then people don't.
He's a good-looking white middle infielder from Stanford. I think that's like honestly is probably where a lot of that like that's our guy. It's like his name's Nico Horner. Look at him. He's fucking
right. But I don't think people. And I feel like I run into this on the internet too, where it's like the only prospects that they know are the prospects that are in their own system. And it's like foreign to them that someone else could have a shortstop or a third baseman that's better than the name that they already know.
Yeah.
And so I do think there's an element of that. So, but yeah, so if you can get a $300 million shortstop, so Nico, you're moving over. Like you're not Derek Jeter. So like that's
he is Derek Jeter. That's exactly what he is.
Well, without the 4 rings and without all the
Derek
I think
Jeter
this is a weird way for me
to those championships.
I'm not trying to have a conversation about Derek Jeter, but
I'm very jaded too, as I realize the biggest takeaway is that the Cubs are 100% going to get one of the 3 shortstops between Trey Turner, Carlos Correa, and Dansby Swanson.
Will you chain yourself to a statue if they don't?
No, I will fucking
fair.
I won't do shit if I'm wrong about this.
Okay, all right.
I'll be like, well, I was just fucking saying that for clicks. I'll totally deny that. I will minimize the point I'm about to make as much as possible if this turns out to be wrong.
Who would you
right
prefer?
now, I don't know.
Dansby.
I think it's just. I would say
It depends.
Trey Turner.
Depends on what else they're gonna do.
Because I think Correa definitely moves off short
Eventually,
yeah, just due to his frame and build. But Trey Turner is just gonna age like so graceful. I think he is awesome in every facet of baseball.
I didn't think of one of the 3 guys. I'm just not sure like in what capacity though. Like it depends on what the other moves are, and Like, is it a 2 or 3 year window? I like them all. I do very much like them all, and I don't think you can miss. But that's a fucked up, jaded way because I'm like, well, I just know that because this is what they do. They put JD on the marquee network. These fucking bums. Like, I'm just mad at the Cubs. I want to get over this.
It's a hard thing to get over.
It's just like, just go win games. So,
yeah.
I had another note. I'm surprised you let Ed in the studio today.
Why is that?
Because the World Cup yesterday, he blew it for the Americans.
I mean, aren't you guys used to it by now? Where Ed, like, he doesn't. I asked him, can you stay in the basement for 12 minutes? 12 minutes. And he wouldn't do it. And he said, if they give up a goal, I'll wear it. And as soon as they gave up a goal, he tried to redirect the blame on me.
Can you explain yourself?
Can you tell me that you care?
He cannot.
No. I don't. Can I make a confession? I would have thought it was hilarious if the Americans lost to Wales in soccer.
I don't.
Wales has a bunch of good players.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still Wales though. Like, I saw on Twitter last night or yesterday. It's the entire country is a third of the size of the Chicago metro area. That is objectively funny.
Yeah, but if it's like,
I know it's way different.
Yeah.
And it's their national sport, and they're like bred to be soccer players. Like,
Is it their national sport or is that?
I would assume.
I don't know.
It's got to be.
But-
That or rugby.
yeah,
Cricket.
I don't know.
Irish football.
Definitely not that. But yeah, like Wales has, like, I mean, obviously the name everybody knows is Gareth Bale, but they have
Ben Davies is good.
they
He's
have
had a career.
Brennan Johnson's a Forest guy. They got Nico Williams, who started for them as a Forest guy. They got Aaron
Daniel James.
Daniel James.
Yeah, when
fast-
are we going to talk about
fast
that?
as
The guy who
fuck.
scored the goals, he plays for the team that Chief roots for.
He didn't score the goal, actually.
You said that. The
He
guy
started the play.
Yeah. Okay.
like
When are we
he's-
going to talk about that?
Well, it's club versus country, man. What do you want?
When are we going to talk about the guy who created the negative energy?
See, if it was
I
a
didn't
World
create
Baseball
any negative
Classic
energy.
and the U.S. was playing like Colombia, actually, that's not a bad. That's a bad
Venezuela.
analogy. Venezuela and Ozzie Guillen was on the team, hypothetically speaking, just because he's the first Venezuelan that popped in my head. But I'd be rooting for the Americans like crazy against them.
Yeah.
It's fun like that.
Yeah,
but
it
soccer, I just give zero fucks about. So I thought it was kind of funny when they tied it up. And to my eye, and I don't know the first thing what I'm looking at, it looked like they got destroyed in that second half.
Yeah, I mean, they sat back. It was almost like a strategic move,
Like
And
a prevent defense.
Yeah, and the guy, and which you see a lot in soccer, they try to, they quote unquote park the bus when you get up, but they were controlling that game. They had the possession of the ball the whole game, and then they just decided, like, we're going to completely change how we're playing. And then even the guys, like, they left on the bench, like they left one of their best players on the bench, like one of the best Americans ever, Gio Reyna. Like, he plays for Dortmund.
Heard that name. Yeah.
Well, his dad is Claudio Reyna, played for the United States in the World Cup maybe 20 years ago, longer, in the 90s and early 2000s. And they're like, and he always gets hurt. So people are like, were you hurt? He's like, no, I'm 100%. I don't know why I didn't go in. So it was like, it was odd. Like they had a lot of odd things happen in the second half.
We're still going to get out of the group. All right?
Yeah.
Everyone relax. We're still going to get out of the group. Top of the league, fam. All right?
Top of the league.
Top of the league.
Yeah, he's
Fucking,
back
this
at
is
the
just
bottom of the league.
Red Ed stereotype. Well, yeah, let's talk about Marian Hossa, all right?
The GOAT.
Let's talk about 81 forever.
Well, I mean, your national sport. Obviously, you love to.
Well, I love Hossa.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
He's like, I've said this other places too, but like he was just never like a part of the marketing campaign for whatever reason. And so they, I would say that like Kaner was for the kids, he's like the flashy young guy coming up in 07. And Hossa was for the dads. Like all the dads loved Marian Hossa, played perfectly, played the right way. And did everything right. Did everything right defensively, offensively. Had physical, reverse checks, clutch. He was like a perfect winger, and we're lucky to have him. And that's a guy that they don't win cups without him. He kind of changed the perception of the team because no one wanted to play here for a generation. All the stars left: Amante, Ronick, Belfour, Chelios, everybody who was anybody left. And it was like, this is a dead market. Nobody cares. The organization sucks. And then Hossa came in, and he was really a guy who was like, okay, like things are different now. And, you know, I talked to Versteeg, and it's just like you watch him, the way he prepares and the way he works on the ice, it just makes, it's like an infectious thing. So nobody had a bad thing to say about him. So that was, you know, it's, even though he was like a free agent mercenary guy, like he's like, we get to claim him, and I love that. He was fucking, and the Hawks, you know, I got some issues with them. But they do pageantry better than anybody. Mm-hmm. They nailed that ceremony. They bring the cup back. All 7 guys that won 3 cups with Hossa. That picture was just like, man, we were lucky here. We had it so good for so long, and he was right at the center of that. So, and he said it in the speech, like, we're going to be having a lot of these because Dunk and Keith got to Dunk and Siebes got to go up. 1988 obviously go up. I would put all seven of those guys up. Give me Sharpie.
Hammer
and and I know people like kind of draw the line at those two. I'm not drawing that line. Hang those banners up too, because they were all very integral, and it was great to watch. And yeah, and then the team lost.
I had fun.
Team lost, which is kind of, you know, it's like if you win, great. If you lose, great. And so it's a good spot to be. It's kind of like similar to the Bears.
Yeah, they did a good job. And Hossa did great speaking and everything. He's just an endearing guy.
Oh yeah,
he did
seems like it. Yeah,
he did a great job, and it was just nice to see those guys in the building. It was like, to speak quite frankly, as a casual, I guess you will say, it was nice to turn the channel back on and just see the band back together, so to speak.
Because it hasn't happened. They haven't been all together.
Yes.
Since they, you know, because one guy's in Edmonton, one guy's, you know, wherever. So
exactly.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to see.
Yeah, thanks to the Hawks for getting Hossa in here as well.
You'll like this one about Marian Hossa, unrelated to his hockey play. When he lived in Chicago, his condo on the river downtown was a floor below the first guy I ever worked for. He was this independent lawyer, guy my dad knew or whatever, so I get the job with him. And part of the job was like just doing odd stuff for the guy, take the car to get washed, like go pick this up. And just an independently wealthy guy. A lot of times it'd be go pick up groceries, drop stuff off. So the first time I'm in the penthouse, and he's like, hey, when you get there, go out the balcony, look to the floor down in the balcony below. Tell me what you see when you come back. So I'm like, all right. So I go down there and look at the balcony, and it's just this fucking stuffed balcony, hot tubs, speakers, flat, like all the other balconies. This is on like the 40th fucking floor. All these other balconies are just like your standard outdoor downtown Chicago, nice
like
balcony.
Maybe a grill.
Maybe a flower pot. Maybe a grill.
Okay.
Maybe. And then there's one where just like everything is just stuffed, like this massive hot tub and like, you know, fucking great entertainment setup and all that stuff. So I come back, I'm like, dude, who the fuck do you live next to? He's like, Marian Hossa. How fucking cool is that? Marian Hossa. And it wasn't anything more than that. It's like, do you hang out with him? He's like, dude, not at all. But he's out there with fucking girls. It's nice.
Yeah, he's the fucking best. And, you know, it's like one of those guys where, you know, because you hear things where it's like, he's kind of this, he's kind of that. Everybody like, doesn't matter if you're Pat Boyle, my dad meeting him on a flight. Everybody that seems like they've come in contact with him is like, he's the fucking best guy. So and that's the kind of guy you want hanging in the rafters.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. No.
So
good to see him up there.
Yeah.
And also one of my favorite things, it's a talking point that's been on the show a lot, and we've referred back to it a bunch.
Yeah.
You've said many times, do you know a lot about a team? There's a stat where if a team is so-and-so at American Thanksgiving, you know they'll make the playoffs or not. So without further ado, where are we, Chief?
We are not in a playoff spot as of American Thanksgiving. So the wild card, Calgary's sitting there. St. Louis has ripped off, I think, 9 wins in a row, something like that, 7 wins in a row. So they've climbed. So there's 4 teams that have 20 points. The Hawks are sitting there with 15. So the stat is that Eddie's referring to is that if you're in a playoff spot on Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, then you make the playoffs 80% of the time. So they were sitting in that wild card. So I was like, well, if they get to Thanksgiving, but then, you know, Seth Jones has missed like 10 games now, and that's kind of like really coincided. They've been on a pretty big slide here, 5 in a row, something like that. So without having their, you know, best defenseman playing 27 minutes a night, they struggled. So they're not going to be a playoff team, I'm sorry to say, Ed, based on that stat.
Fuck. I love the American Thanksgiving stat.
Well, it's like one of those things that you called me on that I had never thought about, because I would hear it from like Elliot Friedman and like these different Canadian broadcasters. So they would always make the point, and I was just like repeating like that stat, like kind of word for word what they were saying. I'm like, oh yeah, like our audience doesn't know what the fuck Canadian Thanksgiving even is. Like, we don't have to just call it Thanksgiving. And so yeah, I never even realized I was calling it American Thanksgiving. Yeah,
it was brought to my attention by a buddy of mine who listened to the show. He's always like, dude, why does Chief always calling it American Thanksgiving?
Why did they be like, that's a great idea, but we're gonna do it on a different day? That's fucking stupid by Canada.
Yeah, it's not like,
they do it in October. They do it like October 13th or something like that.
Is there a specific reason they do it aside from giving thanks? Is it like we got the
Pilgrims?
Yeah, the Pilgrims.
I don't know what Canada. I think they probably just looked down south and were like, man,
they're doing
fucking
it. We should
awesome
do it too.
holiday. And they're like, it gets pretty cold end of November. Why don't we bump ours up
a month? Yeah.
Maybe
You know what?
That might have been it.
I think that you're onto something here, Chief.
I always liked the idea back in my younger days of like finding a Canadian wife and then you just get 2 Thanksgivings. Because
how's that going?
Yeah, it didn't work out that way. But I like when I was
so far.
So far. So, but I always thought that would be nice. Like, ooh, do 2 Thanksgivings? Fuck yeah. Because I think they do it basically the same.
Get a turkey. Nice gobble gobble.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any Thanksgiving plans?
Yeah.
I was supposed to head up to
Minocqua?
New Buffalo
For what?
area. Hit the casinos a little bit,
Why don't you just go to Casino with Dave and his dad?
He won't let me.
You didn't ask.
I'm not allowed to meet WW.
I didn't say you're not allowed to meet him.
Oh, okay.
Carl's met him.
Yeah, that's true.
I had drinks with him.
It's true.
Eddie doesn't want to meet him unless he can put a microphone in his face.
You know what? The most endearing thing about hanging out with White Sox Dave's dad, other than he's significantly younger than you would think, and is like this very in shape. Not to say you're not in shape, Dave. You're in fine shape.
He's actually got
athletic shape.
kind
You
of
can go
sloppy.
Sure, but when I
over
met him,
the
I
years.
was like, this guy's fucking put together. This guy's lean. He looks like this guy looks like an extra from Roadhouse.
He's been working construction his whole life. That'll do it.
He was kind of like, so you work with this guy, huh? Like he had that kind of like sense of humor to him a little bit where it was like, okay, so like you work with my son, huh?
Nah, he's a fucking goofball.
Yeah.
He just doesn't understand
I don't think he was
our
like, what's
job.
wrong with you to work with Dave? But it was more like, okay, so you're willing to work with him, huh? Good for you.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think I'm trying to characterize it the right way because it's nuanced. He wasn't shitting on him. He was like, oh, my fucking kid. It wasn't anything like that. He was just like, all right, so.
Yeah.
You got something wrong with you too? Or like, nah, I think so actually, Mr. Williams. I think I do have something wrong with me. He's like, oh, okay. It makes sense.
We actually went to the restaurant that eventually put a hit out on Portnoy.
That's where Carl met him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you should let Eddie spend time with him because I think it would lead to
A little greater understanding.
What do you need to understand?
like I think Eddie's. I think you have to allow it if you agree that like Eddie can't record it or like take pictures. Like you should at least give Eddie an opportunity to go out to Al's Pizza and sit down and go face to face with the guy who brought you into this world.
We went out there last weekend, actually.
Be nice.
Yeah.
No content though, Ed. Would you agree that like you wouldn't? And you have to agree that you wouldn't angle for follow-up information so you could bring him into the dog walk without telling Dave. You have to agree that all communication flows through Dave.
I would do whatever Dave agreed to. Right?
Why are you being coy?
Well, I would everything would have to be above deck.
Would you allow
The only thing
William Williams to supersede Dave's wishes? If William Williams was like, yeah, I'd love to do that, would you then be like, well,
No.
okay,
No.
all right.
Because Dave is the
The only issue with that is he is so disconnected from the world because he doesn't do the internet, and I mean that extremely literally, is that nothing's below deck for him. Everything else would be above deck.
Is he happy that LaRussa got fired?
He hated LaRussa in the 80s.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Insane.
He couldn't stand LaRussa.
Are you insane?
See, I just love to talk some Tony with him and talk. This year,
He'll go down a rabbit hole on that.
on the rundown, he called Portnoy called him Josh Fields, and I was like, oh yeah, shout out Josh Fields, third baseman for the White Sox.
Oh, Justin. Yeah. He hit that 502-foot bomb.
Yeah.
Farthest home run ever hit it at the Cell. I think it was at that
Further
point.
than Borchard?
I would say Joe.
Oh, no,
Borchard.
but that was Borchard.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Borchard, yeah.
But Fields was also one of those guys that they drafted that was supposed to be like the next, Babe Ruth. And fizzled out, obviously, because that's what happens to them.
Obviously.
On next week's show, Joe Borchard sits down.
I would love to do that.
Like a
And
name that fucking anybody outside Chicago would be like, what are you talking about? How did you know that guy? And a name inside Chicago, it's a stain if you can't instantly think of Joe Borchard popping.
And think of that home run. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I don't like about that home run, though? Is that it didn't seem like he killed it when he hit it off the bat.
Not a Glenn Allen Hill moment.
Like Glenn Allen Hill, you see that and you're like, the instant he made contact, you're like, that ball is going to Wisconsin. That's the exact direction it was going.
Not a photogenic home run.
But Borchard's, it's like, oh, he turned on that ball, and then you see where it lands. It's like, holy shit. Are you looking it up right now?
I'm looking him up. I'm trying to. We should try to get him on.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Yeah, of course.
Send
Do you think it's better
Let's
to be
just try to get-
photogenic or unphotogenic? Would you rather be overly photogenic or like underly photogenic? Would you rather people see you and be surprised positively, or meet you and be like, oh, he like thought
This
it
is
would
like
be.
a over-promise, under-deliver
Oh, yeah,
situation.
If you're walking
definitely-
in a room for the first time.
You totally want to over deliver, under promise.
Yeah. Although
sure.
I used to get
Wait,
people saying that, oh, you're taller than I thought, and it would always bother me.
You
I
want
think you're
that.
a
you guys
big guy,
like,
though.
dude.
I think Smitty falls in the same category. People where you're like, wow, I didn't know Smitty was like.
Smitty's,
I'm not saying Smitty's like
a big
huge, but
dude.
you stand
He's
next to Smitty and you're
he-
like,
he
all right,
takes up
you're
a doorway.
fucking bigger than I am, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
Smitty's
small.
like 6'3", 230 of like, I mean, he's
And it's
he's
good.
got like
It's
dad fat now, but he's like solid.
Yeah.
well, I would say well distributed too.
Yeah.
You know, he
Yeah.
looks like he's a regular guy.
Looked like he'd be a hard guy to move off the line.
Yeah, but he was a fucking backup Division III tight end.
I think
He
you're bigger
stinks.
than people expect. I think you're taller than, for sure, taller than people.
Yeah.
I always get you're way less, even like prior to this summer. People always said I'm
But
not
if
as
she-
fat as I looked.
If she walked in, you were like walking in the bar or something. She's like thinking to herself,
Like you have like a dating app profile, and you put like your best foot forward, and then she gets there, and you're like, ugh.
But then she's like, well, he's good on Instagram, and like I'm shallow, so this is gonna play well in today's age.
Yeah, you don't want to be a catfish, bro.
You're right.
The
But not a catfish, you know. But you don't want to. I know what you mean.
You'd
I'm not
rather
saying
be
true
the
catfish.
opposite.
Yeah.
I,
But
like-
what if your pictures are so bad?
I feel
Like, ooh, you
Yeah.
know, those are like, man, there's like,
look at how we dress. All our pictures
Yeah.
are so bad.
I know,
but
but
I
you know
feel
what
like
I mean.
girls play this the other way. Like they're the ones who are like go into like editing apps and like change like little things about their face or whatever to make them more appealing.
They all have editing apps,
Right.
Multiple editing apps that
Yeah.
they pay subscription fees for.
right. It's crazy.
This one's good
Insane
for vertical
people.
fucking uploads.
Dude, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
They're crazy people.
Should be illegal.
It should be illegal. False advertisement.
You know, we took a picture not too long ago, and I said that'd be a great picture if that person wasn't in it. There's somebody behind us or something that was like kind of. I was like, oh, I'll just take that person out. It's like what? You would have thought it was like something I handed off to like Danny Lance or Harry. Be
Yeah.
like, hey, could you clean this up and try and
That's-
edit these people out? She's like, no, I have an app. You just take people out of pictures.
That's one of those things that I'll just never understand because it could be like you're in front of a scene, like a forest or something, let's say, and it's like you take the person out, you would expect there to be like just emptiness, but it's like no, they have another tree or whatever. It just fits perfectly somehow. Like they digitally add whatever is behind the person in the photo. It's crazy. Don't get it.
Technology
Should be illegal.
technology. See if they get that technology working on recyclables.
Yeah, they're way ahead of that. You guys are, they're going to get that better. And they're making roads out of it too. So everyone should just stop shitting on plastic. Plastic's great. Keeps your food fresh longer so you don't have to starve. Very
Eddie, what are
important.
you thankful for?
If you got to think about it, you're a sociopath.
I mean, but what do you want me to do? Like, just
I hate when people ask me that.
yeah, I don't like.
Even if it's around the table, everyone's like, oh, say what you're thankful for. I'm like,
What are you thankful for, Dave?
Nothing really.
Yeah, okay.
So then he's
That's
then you're
even
a
more
sociopath.
No, that's not true.
You just have
He was
nothing to
trying
be
to think
thankful
about
for.
something to conjure up. That was all bullshit. I just say nothing. Like, I hate all of you.
but
I hate everybody
But that's
listening.
not true. You are thankful for stuff. I know you're gonna go. My
The
dog.
dogs-
My dog.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
dog's
My
all right.
dog. Yeah.
The dog's all right.
My dog.
The new Call of Duty map is actually, I'm enjoying it thus
Too
far.
many gigs. Way too many gigs.
I do happen to crash a lot, and I got to restart the PC. I've had this. We talked about at the beginning of the show. I've had this Polina Meat Market website up, and I'll just zoom through it, and I am thankful for smoked meats. That is something I'm thankful for. Do you appreciate a smoked meat, Ed?
Pre-smoked, or you want to smoke it
No,
yourself?
I'm smoking it myself.
I don't know. That's kind of an epic mealtime kind of take.
What do you mean? Why would you say?
I don't know. Well, yeah, that's nice. I like smoked meats.
I am thankful for.
I like it when they slice the cold cuts extra thin. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for Brett Bielema too. That's a really.
I am not thankful for any of my
Thankful
sports
for Brett
teams. You can
Bielema.
all fuck yourselves.
Thank you very much, Brett.
Actually, the Bears, you're in my good graces as of now. You'll probably fuck it up though. Nah, I mean, history repeats itself, does it not?
All gas.
No breaks.
DJ, play that shit.
Happy Thanksgiving.